Hello everyone! So today we're going to talk about the first life and when it appeared and what it was. So before I start this presentation, I want you to know I give you a brief overview of the subcategories we categorize Earth's history. So we have the Hadean, Archean, Proterozoic, and the Paleozoic. And so there's four eons, and every eon there are eras. So in the Paleozoic there are three eras: the Cenozoic, Mesozoic, and Paleozoic. And every era there are periods, as you can see: Quaternary, Neogene, and Paleogene. And every epoch there are Holocene, Pleistocene in the Quaternary. So you can see in the Quaternary there are Holocene and Pleistocene. In the Neogene we find the Pliocene and the Miocene. And so it doesn't always need to be two. As you can see in the Paleogene, we have three epochs: the Oleogene and Eocene and the Paleocene. So in this whole part, you can see all around here, there's some problem with this chart. So this part, it always shows blank, but you get the idea from here. It goes smaller and smaller in category. Okay, so now let's answer our question. So what was the first life on Earth? No, they weren't dinosaurs, they were bacteria. And so, right now, there you see bacteria all over your skin. There are like hundreds of species of bacteria on your skin. And so, when did the first life appear on Earth? Well, the first life appeared in the Archaean Eon. So, as we said last in our chart before, we have three eons other than the Phanerozoic: the Proterozoic, Archean, and Hadean. And the Archean Eon and the Proterozoic and the Hadean, all together, they're called the Precambrian Eons. So this is because in the Phanerozoic, the first period is the Cambrian period. So before that, it's usually called the Precambrian. And so these eons is called the Precambrian Eons. And so life appeared in the Archean. Okay, so I have a picture of the Archean, so you can see here. And in this picture, you can see one major component of the Archean, one major thing that happened during the Archean Eon, and that was these stromatolites. So stromatolites has holds a type of bacteria. So on these stromatolites are bacteria, and so these bacteria are, can you guess? Cyanobacteria. And so cyanobacteria produce oxygen. So they breathe in carbon and breathe out oxygen. And so this is very important for life on Earth, since all animal life and you breathe in oxygen. And right now, 80% of the oxygen is based on cyanobacteria. But back then, there were no plants or trees, so it was 100%. And the other side, we have anaerobic bacteria. And anaerobic bacteria cannot live with oxygen and do not live with oxygen. And right now, there's some anaerobic bacteria in your gut. Okay, so now let's talk about the Proterozoic Eon. And it's the biggest eon in Earth's history. And so I have a chart of what happened during the Proterozoic Eon. So we have the oxygen crisis, the first eukaryotes, snowball Earth, multicellular life, and ozone stabilization. And so first, let's talk about the oxygen crisis. So the oxygen crisis is not that when you look at this picture, you might be thinking that because you breathe oxygen, that the oxygen level decreased dramatically. But that's actually not what happened. It's the opposite. It increased dramatically, and the reason they put this poison symbol is that because the anaerobic bacteria we have been talking about died out. Many species died out. Since still there's some species, and those are the ones that are living in your gut and others, but most of the anaerobic bacteria died. Another big moment in Earth's history happened after this, and it's called the first eukaryotes started on Earth. So the first eukaryotic cells were on Earth. The first eukaryotic cells. And this is dramatic because all the living species that you can see are made out of eukaryotic cells. Everything, almost all living species, you name it, they're all from eukaryotic cells. And after this, we have the snowball Earth. And so, snowball Earth is just made the Earth's basically a snowball. But let me describe how the first eukaryotic cells happened first. So, the first eukaryotic cells would have happened when first we had a big bacteria, and then this bacteria dissolved or ate another bacteria. And this bacteria, it didn't die when the other bacteria ate it. Instead, it survived. And then there was a mutated relationship between these two bacteria, because when this bacteria started living inside the other, then it started processing the energy that the other one was getting from outside to energy that both the bacteria could eat. So the first one was probably taking in the food, the other one would process it into energy. And so this would be the mitochondria of the eukaryotic cell. On the other hand, if this was a cyanobacteria, it would be a chloroplast. So you could think of it like the chloroplasts or cyanobacteria are the origins of chloroplasts. So basically, 100% of oxygen is created from cyanobacteria, since chloroplasts are basically cyanobacteria inside eukaryotic cells. During this time, we also have multicellular life, since right after the eukaryotic cells started, then multicellular life boomed. So we have all kinds of life: jellyfish, trilobites, and plants, and much more. And so I have a big image, so I'm just going to take these texts and images out of the way. Ooh, it stopped there. Okay, so now you can see all of you've been talking about in this presentation. So we have photosynthesis start, that's cyanobacteria. Then we have the atmosphere becoming oxygen rich, and this thing is a bit behind, so it didn't really start in the Hadean, it starts in the Archaean. And then we have the eukaryotic cells, the first eukaryotic cells. Then we have the first multicellular life, and then we have the first animals. So we have the two snowball Earths, and then the Cambrian explosion. So the Cambrian is the Cambrian period. It sits in the Paleozoic era. So we have the Cambrian explosion, in which life just exploded. Then we have the first land vertebrae, and then we have the mammals, and then we have the dinosaurs. Then we have humans. Humans, you can see, is just this small dot, in Earth's history. So we haven't been alive for much of Earth's history. The biggest eon is, you can see, the Proterozoic, and it's almost like dwarf is the Hadean and the Phanerozoic. So okay, so thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Bye!